we have Sithe Ncube on the line now. She is representing the Humble Black Game Developer Fund, also Global Game Jam. I think I butchered your last name. Can you please tell
Yes,
us
you
how
did.
to? I freaking A. Every time.
That,
You know what I mean?
I told you just don't say it. I told you just don't say it. It's fine.
I can't help
It's
it. You know what I mean?
It's got it's got a click which I'm pretty sure
okay.
Americans like aren't familiar with it. So a little bit like that's how you say it. But
Okay, I'm
don't
not gonna
try
do
it at
that.
home. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah,
It's okay.
just let it go, bro.
Yeah, I am gonna let it go for sure. And I think it's awesome. I've been working with you for the past, what is it, almost 6 months, right?
Since October. Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah, I guess 4 months. I don't know. But since October or before that,
Before that, a little
we
bit.
got to know each other a bit before that. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
So it's been a while.
it's been amazing. Sithe's also on the Black Game Developer Fund, as well as I am, and it's been such a journey working through that process. And one thing that I thought was really interesting is just your perspective being African and working with developers from the community. Can you give us a little bit about your personal history in the game development space?
Oh, okay. So my personal history in the game development space. So in 2013, this was like, I forget, I was like 19, I think, but like I was working at a space at a tech incubator, and I think tech incubators, they're popular in all sorts of places in Africa, like but it's usually like tech and business incubator. And I was working there, and they were encouraging me to like, because it was a space for innovation and stuff, so they encouraged me to like pursue any of my interests or whatever. So my bosses saw that I was interested in games, and they told me that, oh, there's this guy who made a game. And at that time, like, I'm in Zambia, and I have never heard of anyone making a video game before, like as in. So they told me that someone made their own video game, and he's been here before. And they're like, oh, who's that? And funny enough, like someone from my high school told me, like, oh, my cousin made a video game once. And I was like, oh, really? And it turns out it was the same person. And when I learned that you can make your own game, like he made a game based on his own comic, his own JRPG in Java, and he did everything in Java. He did all the drawing in Java and all that stuff. So it was like a fighting game, a JRPG style fighting game made based on a comic he had of a post-apocalyptic Africa. And I was just like, and he did everything by himself. Every single thing he did by himself in Java. And I was like, whoa, that's like insane. And I was like, also, I was like, that means like people can actually do it. Like that shows that people can actually do it. Yeah. So after I learned that, I was like, I wonder how many other people there are around. So this was 2013, and I was like, I wonder if there are any other people around who have made games, or if anyone would be interested in learning how to make games. So I started exploring tools for game development. I learned about Stencil and Construct and that kind of stuff, and then I learned about Global Game Jam. So it was really there when I started seeing, like with starting a game development community in Zambia from that, and becoming a part of a more global game development community through Global Game Jam. I was like, wow, like people are learning how to make games by themselves using all sorts of tools. So I just stayed there, like super interested, since I've been a gamer since I was really young. And I was just reminded recently that there was a time I made a board game when I was a kid using cardboard and stuff. It was like Monopoly, but for everyday life. And my friends came over to play it. But yeah, I forgot about that. But then but then I just thought, yeah, people, like I was just learning about people in different places in Africa making games. So that was 2013. I did a lot of stuff with that, and then in 2014 I came to study in South Africa, and South Africa has its own indie game scene. South Africa is famous for Broforce from Free Lives, and they.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I know I've been rambling a lot.
What's the difference between sort of the indie game scene there than it is here? Like, what do you think are some of the sort of differences that you can...
You mean in South Africa?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, a lot. I mean, first of all, This event right now, Black Voices in Gaming. First of all, like most of the developers from South Africa are white men. The developers who you'll know about, like if you uh, Free Lives, all other popular games you hear about, most likely will be made by a white man in South Africa. So there is really, really very. I don't know if that's a similarity or a difference, but like there is such little representation of black games. It's weird. No, it's really weird because like white people are the minority in South Africa, like by far the minority in South Africa. So,
Let me just put an emphasis on it, by far, and then
yes, I need to emphasize by far the minority in South Africa. So it's very strange. It's very noticeable. It's extremely noticeable that most of the games in South Africa are made by a small minority. And the actual people who represent the majority of the country are not shown in the game scene. So that's like a huge problem already. And I think so. Like I was saying before, it'll end the conversation I was having before. But like when I came to South Africa to study, and the thing is, I had that hunger for wanting to know about game development communities. So I was reaching out to all sorts of South Africans, and they invited me to events, and like I could fit in well in those events, I guess, because if you just meet me on it, if a lot of people can't tell where I'm from when they hear me talk and whatnot, like I have a very neutral accent and all that. So, and I know I have a very kind of Western sensibility in terms of like games and stuff like that. So I guess I'm approachable in that sense. Like I'm approachable in that sense. So it makes it easier for me to integrate into like these different types of communities. Whereas, you know, someone who like might have a different perspective on what games they can make, or someone who might have a different perspective on the scene. I feel that, honestly. I feel that when I go to events. So
where are you where are you from originally?
I'm from Zambia originally. Zambia. Yeah.
And as far as sort of women of color being represented in the indie game industry in Zambia, South Africa, what do you see there?
Even worse than what I like. Already like in terms of black represent. Gosh, it's so little, like so few indie game developers or even just people working in the games industry are African women, and they're like, I'm still trying to find answers to it. Like it's something which I've been trying to find answers for since 2015, because since 2015, like hosting game development events in Zambia, I started hosting an all-girls game development workshop since like 2015 to get more women involved in Global Game Jam. And the thing is, that event was pretty successful, and it was really nice getting to know the women. And interestingly enough, the women who I see almost every day, I guess, and I didn't even know that they were like so interested in games and even had an interest in game development. So there are a lot of people who have a silent desire to get into game development. But, you know, the thing is, there's still a lot of this basic perspective, these basic opinions about, oh, you're a girl and you play games. Like, you know, there's that kind of stuff which, I guess makes people uncomfortable to even like be like visible women who are gamers. So much like, even in terms of, I guess it's changed for women in coding and tech and stuff, but like, it's still an uncomfortable space to be in. And that's what I've been getting all these years. That's the one thing which I'm very sure of, that it's still an uncomfortable space for women in Africa to be in. Like, even not just from their peers, but even, I guess, you know, from family members and stuff like that.
You mean being gamers?
Being gamers, yes. Being gamers and also being game developers, like that's even worse. So like being gamers is already one thing, and then being interested in actually pursuing game development is another thing. It's just like it's just something else.
What makes you different? Because you're obviously in the gaming community, and obviously this is something that you love to do, but you don't seem to let whatever those cultural or societal
I don't.
reflections.
I don't know. I'm used to being an outsider. For a while, I've been used to being an outsider. When I was in primary school, I'm just used to being an outsider, I guess. So it didn't even bother me. And the thing is, it's like one of the only few joys I get in my life is from video games. So, like, I'm not going to suppress that. Like, what else am I going to do? Like, what else am I going to talk about? Like, or what else can I be passionate about if it's not video games and stuff like that? So I don't feel the need to hide it. I don't want to hide it because I like it. I like the space that I'm in. Also maybe it's also because like I grew up like with my brothers and cousins. I have 3 brothers, and I mean, from the youngest time, like we're all really good at Tekken in our family, or we were all really good at Tekken. It's been years.
We gotta play some Tekken. I know we've talked.
Yeah, we gotta play some.
I'm a Tekken head for sure. Type thing. But let's jump into the Black Game Developer Fund. I really want to talk to you about that because, and you could jump into obviously, but you actually are representing a continent. Like, you know what I mean? You're representing Africa there, and you're seeing everything that's going on. I'm helping to represent Europe and the US. And what has your experience been with that? Because obviously it evolved from the beginning until now.
So it's my experience with that has been, people are still like really want to make mobile games in Africa. So it's so hard finding people who are making PC games through the Black Game Developer Fund. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge. But the thing is, I think my experience is that games like Arma. So I think Arma and Orion, which isn't part of BGDF, but it's also a Cameroonian game. I think seeing success stories like that might motivate people more to invest in PC games and creating their own IP through that. So that's the challenge I've had. The challenge I've had is that most people want to make mobile games because they know it's easy to, as a business model, you can just say, oh, most Africans mostly are on mobile and all that stuff. But I do think we need more people making PC games because it's not just about the game, it's about the intellectual property as well, and exporting it.
And you think the focus is because of the economics around the mobile gaming and because they're investing in the PC gaming? Yeah, because I mean it's easy. Yeah, it's easier to just prove it as a business model, or it's just easy to sell that to people. Just say so many Africans are on their mobiles. Like every African uses a smartphone. Blah blah blah. We can get so many players into this. That's how it's easier to sell it like that. But selling console games, because people don't even really track console sales in Africa. I don't think so. I don't think people track console game sales in Africa, but it's easier to see analytics for app sales and all that stuff. So
yeah, there is definitely no visibility there. So we as we watched this evolve, what were some of the things that you saw trending? Let's just get real about this. So we started working with Humble. We saw these developers come in, these Black game developers from all over the world, and we were like, okay, initially it was like, okay, this was a publishing scenario, and then it was like, oh, well, these developers need a lot of help. You know what I mean? Outside of that. So can you explain a little bit about how it progressed?
Yeah, it's exactly what you're saying. And the thing is, I was actually really surprised because the thing is, this is my first experience working with a publisher. But with my background experience, working at a tech incubator and all this stuff, and writing grants and all that stuff, and learning project management. So I thought that as a junior, I was going to be. I thought seeing people's stuff for the first time, I thought I was going to be seeing a lot of people like just selling themselves really well. But then I learned that that people actually a lot of people didn't know how to sell their games. Like they didn't know how to pitch their games, and I was actually very surprised about that. And then I realized, and then we came to realization that okay, people need help with also being able to pitch their games, and like even when people pitch their games, you could tell like people were underselling themselves a lot.
Yes.
So then I'm like look, exactly. And the thing is, like, I'm from Africa. We learn to do things like on such a small budget. So I have like basically no income, very little income. And I was like, if I can tell you that you're underselling your game, you're really underselling it. I was surprised about that. Yeah.
I was surprised about that too. A lot of the developers, even like the developers who worked in AAA before, were having like some of those struggles of underselling it, not saying that they need $500,000, saying they needed $200,000, being way under budget, but having this amazing game and already having these prototypes. So that's something that we definitely got to hit on. But can you tell us a little bit about the Black Game Developer Fund and where to find out about it and how to apply?
Haven't you already said that? You've probably said this a lot of times.
I've said it like 1,000 times, but I want to hear it from your perspective.
Oh my gosh! I just Google Humble Games Black Game Developer Fund or something, and it shows up. But I think it's go to humblegames.com/Black Game Dev Fund. But whatever the URL is gonna be shared here, I just know it's like when I type it, it shows up on my autocomplete, so I don't know what the URL exactly is. But people, we're still open for submissions. There is a new submission format. If anyone is like who submitted something way back is planning on submitting something again, the submission format is different now. There's a pitch deck template that you can use, which is, I guess, part of helping people learn how to pitch their game. So you can use that to pitch your game, and look forward to seeing more submissions.
Thank you so much, Sithe, for joining us. How can we find out more about you? How can we follow you and everything else?
Twitter, I guess Twitter is the only Twitter @_Lady Sith. So @_Lady Sith on Twitter. Or you can check out my website, where I'm trying to document 1,000 African women and their contributions to games, which is prosarium.net.
Wait, you just breezed over that.
Yeah, you got to go back to that.
Yes, because I don't know how much time we have left. But I'm working on an initiative to document 1,000 African women and their contributions to games, because like we talked about earlier, it's already so hard to find it's already, so people are so uncomfortable coming out of there and saying they made these little games, or even they've worked on this. So I just wanted people to feel more legitimate about that. And off the top of my head, I know at least 100 African women, even 200 easily, who have contributed to a game in some way. You see, there are that many, and the thing is, they're not documented. So that's why I started this initiative. So you can check it out, prosarium.net. Like I've only documented like a few people so far, because I've been a student until very recently, until I finished I actually got my results today, so I'm done. I passed everything. Great. So now I can focus more on these interviews, because there are so many women out there who I want people to hear more about. So many African women who have contributed to games in various ways that I want people to hear about. So
definitely please share that on your Twitter, so we can all retweet that, because I think it's important that people know that women of color are in this industry. We want more women of color in this industry.
Yeah, for sure.
Specifically.
Thank you so much, Sithe. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, and definitely follow her for sure.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, that was dope. It's so crazy to hear about like the different interactions that folks have, especially in the African community, African developer community.